Hello and welcome to another ArtifactCCG.com video, and today we are going to be doing an interesting installment in our Mistakes to Avoid series. This is the number one mistake to avoid when you start Artifact, and this is a mistake that literally every single new player, regardless of skill, is going to make. It's a mistake that I make all the time, that everyone makes to a certain degree, and that is the mistake of blaming RNG. And this is more on the level of how do you actually improve at a game, how do you become a skilled Artifact player. So it might be a little bit of a cheat. I'm not offering you gameplay advice. But honestly, the best way to improve at any game is to stop blaming elements that are outside of your control. Because the moment you start doing that, you no longer have to improve, right? If you've end a game and you're like, oh, I only lost because I didn't draw this card, then you just ended the conversation there. You can't go back and start thinking, well, what could I have done differently, right? If you just leave it at that, you're not going to improve. And this is a thing that people do all the time, especially in team games, but even in a solo game like Artifact, you're going to find yourself doing this all the time, where you finish a game and all that you're dwelling on is that last RNG proc of something like cheating death, right? But what you won't be considering at that point is, should I be running more, improvement hate, right? What could I have done wrong? Did I maybe use an improvement hate card too early in the game against a card like Ignite that's not as important as hitting a card like Cheating Death, right? And this is an issue that is prevalent in every game I've ever played in. I used to play a ton of Dota 2, and this was the most common thing. You'd play a game, and you'd come to the end of it, and you'd lose, and, in the last seconds of the game, people would just be throwing blame this way and that, like, if you'd just done this, and there'd be nothing about what they could have done. And this is, if you want to stay at your skill level, this is exactly how you stay at your skill level. Blame other things, right? Ultimately, that will never accomplish anything because they're outside of your control. You can't affect them, right? Unless you're literally a programmer working on Artifact, you can't change the RNG factors, right? All you can do is change your own decisions, change your own choices. So every time that you finish a game of Artifact, don't let your first thought be, if this RNG element had just gone differently, I would have won. Let your first thought be, what choice could I have made differently that may have led to my own victory, right? If you start doing this from the very beginning when you play Artifact, you will improve much faster than the other players who are just sitting there blaming all the RNG factors, right? Now, Artifact is pretty good with RNG, but there definitely is a lot. I mean, even like the opening flop, where you reveal all your heroes, what do your high health, high attack red heroes line up against their low health, low attack blue heroes, right? Do you get those free kills at the beginning of the game, right? Those feel really good, and getting a bad flop with an aggressive deck can feel rough. But one of the interesting things about Artifact is that actually having a hero die round one can be good. There's a whole Richard Garfield article up on playartifact.com that I'll try to link in the description, provided I remember, that talks about this. The fact that if your hero dies round one, that often leads to you being able to deploy that hero where you want it, and it almost ends up being a good thing, 2 rounds from then. And especially when you start Artifact, you're going to be tempted to, when a bad flop happens, to blame the game on that. Or when you don't draw your duels of Legion Commander, or you don't draw your Berserker's Call of Axe, you're going to get frustrated, and you're going to blame the game on that, and that's not how you're going to improve at Artifact. So guys, the number one mistake to avoid when you start playing Artifact is blaming anything other than yourself. Because if you do that, you're closing the door towards your own improvement. That's all I have for this episode, guys. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. If not, tell us why. We want to provide the content that you guys want. And I'm AnAudienceOfOne, and I will see you guys next time.